Hello, guys, and welcome back to episode 12 of Rebuilding a Bridge. I'm Jake, and we're finally back here with a new season. Apologies in the interruptions to the daily episodes. I've had a bit of an illness recently, which meant that I wasn't able to record. It was an ear infection, so I couldn't put my headphones on. But we're now back here. It's 2020. It's a new Premier League season. Coming back off a treble of winning the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League in the previous season, in our first season with Chelsea. We've done brilliantly. And we started this season off just as well. This episode is going to be the transfer special, so I'll be showing you the business that we've done over the summer. In the next episode, I will show you the Super Cup against Man U, but before we get into that, we've had a decent pre-season. We did lose to Liverpool again, and this was in the Community Shield this time. It was a basically we actually dominated them for once, but it was a Mohamed Salah run from his own half. He ended up scoring, they won it 1-0, not to worry, it's only a friendly cup really. But then in our first game of the Premier League season, in something that I've never ever done in Football Manager, we won 10-0, not even in a friendly I've done that. We did it in a Premier League match, the first match of the season. We broke the record for most goals in a Premier League game, and Tammy Abraham broke the record for the most goals scored by a single player in a Premier League game, as he scored 6, Callum Hudson-Odoi got 1, Emerson got 2, both screamers, and even Timo Werner came on to help out with the scoring. But yeah, 10-0, it was a crazy game. I mean, you can see that Birmingham had a man sent off, but that was when we were already 5-6-0 up, I can't even remember. But yeah, we absolutely killed them. We did brilliantly. And now to get into the transfer business that we have done, it hasn't been the busiest summers in terms of incomings and departures, but we have done some pretty serious business, I'd say, in terms of we've done, rather than lots of little deals, we've done a few big deals, and I'll show you them now. So we'll start off with the departures, guys. There was 2 big departures from the team. You can see them here, 65 million and 60 million. The first one I'll talk about, Antonio Rudiger. He went to Arsenal for 65 million. This was Antonio Rudiger was complaining about match time. Some of that was leaking into the team. I think in the last episode in the Champions League final, I think I mentioned it. But yeah, he was wanting more game time. I wasn't really prepared to give it him, and he was going to be a backup. So then, when Arsenal came in with an offer for 50 million, it wasn't his value, so I rejected it. And then he was like, "I would like to join Arsenal to play more first-team football." And I said, "Well, if they can offer a decent amount," I said 65 million. Then they can have you. And they offered that. They took him. Antonio Rudiger went for 65 million. He was good for us, but 60 million for a backup player, we'll definitely take that. And we can use that to reinvest into our squad, which we did, which we'll talk about later. Now, the only first-team player that left us was Kurt Zouma. He played most of our games next to Tomori at centre-back last season. He's gone to Inter Milan for 60 million. This was because I promised him a contract at the end of the season. I then went to offer him the contract and found out that he wanted to be the highest paid player at the club. I said no. He said, "Well, I want to leave." And I said, "Well, if anyone can bid for you, then sure." Offers were coming in of 30 million, wasn't worth it. 40 million wasn't worth it. Inter Milan came in, offered 60 million. Zuma wanted to go. I'd identified a replacement by that time. So we let Zuma go. It's not some business that I wanted to do, but I feel we have improved since we sold him in terms of who we've brought to replace. So it's not the end of the world. I'm quite happy with it. He'll have a good time at Inter Milan, I'm sure, but we don't need him now. We've fixed the problem that it's caused by him leaving, and I think I'm also paying less money to the person that I brought in. Maybe not, maybe it's similar, but Zuma did want 200 grand, and now he's having 95 grand at Inter Milan, so it tells you he was just here to cause problems, really. Alvaro Morata's loan spell at Atletico Madrid is officially now confirmed as a transfer. I had no involvement in that. That was already set before I joined the club, although the board and fans were angry at me for selling Morata, even though I had absolutely no choice in it at all. It was already agreed before I even joined. So we brought in £50 million for him, so we did well there. Mario Pasalic, Michi Batshuayi, David Zappacosta, Jake Clark-Salter, Matt Miazga, Charlie Masunda, Victor Moses, Danny Drinkwater. This was all just like a player clear-out, I suppose. These were players who weren't getting anywhere near our team. They were on high wages. And when we can get rid of them and try and sort this club out, because we have got so many players on loan when I first joined. I know Chelsea are cutting it down in real life now, but we need to cut it down even more. Some of these players were never going to make it into the first team. So I offered them out. We got good offers for a lot of them, and they all went. Batshuayi had to take a bit of a price cut on because of his high excessive wages. Same with Danny Drinkwater. He wanted way too high wages. No one was willing to pay it. But we've got rid of a lot of players here. Brought in some cash to spend around the club. No one who's really of importance. They were all on loan last season. Mario Pasalic was the only one where I thought he could have a future. He's actually valued a lot higher than what I sold him for, but he would only have been a rotation option in a midfield where we have lots of options. And I thought, just get him out because he was on a decent wage. We could get a decent value for him. He was never going to enjoy it here. We didn't need him. Why not get rid of him? So yeah, they were the main summer sales. We had some players leave on a free. The main loan moves that we had were Ethan Ampadu has gone to West Ham. He's going to get some Premier League football at centre-back, hopefully develop into a good centre-back that we can use as a backup in future seasons. Timoi Bakayoko came back from his loan spell at Monaco. I tried to sell him as I had no plans for him at all. No one wanted him, but he's at Arsenal now on loan. So hopefully he'll have a good season for them, and then we can sell him on for a bit of money at the end of the season. Gilmore's at Charlton. He had a great game in real life against Liverpool the other day, so it's a shame that he isn't rated as highly in Football Manager, only the potential of 3 stars. Charlton wanted him. He can get first team football there. I figured, why not? The only other important ones was Ian Matson. He has a future for us at left back. I loaned him out to QPR, realised I actually wanted to use him this season, and I brought him back. So he's going to be one of our left backs this season, and everyone else is pretty much just Championship. We've tried to keep as many of them in the Premier League and Championship, League One, English football. We want to keep our players playing that for as long as possible. The only other player who might actually have a future in the first team is Dujon Sterling. He's on loan at Burnley in the Premier League, going to be playing right back for them, which is very good Premier League right back experience. So then hopefully he can come in and replace Azpilicueta in future seasons. But yeah, he's now 2 stars, potential to be 3.5 stars. That'd be a great little player if we can get him developed well. He's been playing quite a lot for Burnley over pre-season, so hopefully that continues into the actual real season, and we can develop a good player out of him. So that's all the outgoings that we've done. But then in terms of incomings, it was a bit of a weird one because we are a Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup winners right now. We didn't need that much improvement. We did a lot of our business in January, if you remember, of last year. But obviously, with them 2 big centre-backs leaving the club, we had to bridge them gaps. So we brought a first-team centre-back in Dayot Opamenkano, is his name. Hard to pronounce. He's 4 years younger than Zuma, the same rating and potential to be much higher. We paid 85 million for him, so it was basically, imagine it as Rudiger plus a couple of the players who we sold the Deadwood pretty much. And he's had a good start for us. Obviously, he's only played 1 real match, but he looked good in pre-season. And he looks like he's going to be a good option at the back. Probably him and Tomori will be the defence for a long time now. He's got great athleticism, great acceleration, strength. He's got all of the physical stats that you'd want. And he's basically just a beast. His technical stats aren't all there just yet, but he is only 21. That will develop, as will his mental stats. So a very good player to bring in. He's Zuma's replacement in the first team, really. But then obviously we were left at a gap at backup centre-back from Rudiger's departure. Now, we did have Leonidas Sturgiu, who I talked about in the January transfer update, because we agreed a deal, but it didn't go through till this season, so he is now with us, but then I loaned him out to Bordeaux so he could get some first-team football. So that'll be fine, he'll develop there, but the reason he isn't our backup is because we brought Bekir Omaragic from FC Zurich. We bought him for 13.75 million, which was a bit more than he was valued at, but it was his release clause, and the only thing they were willing to accept for him. So he's 18 years old, already capped for under-21 Switzerland. Great potential, great current ability for a backup, because I imagine by the end of this season that'll be 2.5 star, 3 star, whatever. He will be the other backup centre-back with Andreas Christensen. Potential to be 5 star, a great young player on our hands, and we have now got, in Leonidas Sturgiu and Bekir Omaric, 2 of Switzerland's probably best centre-backs, so hopefully one day they'll develop a good partnership for us. Now, we did lose Willy Caballero and didn't have a backup goalkeeper by the end of last season, so we were using Jamie Cumming. Now, he wasn't great, so we sent him out on loan. Jamal Blackman has came back to be our 3rd choice goalkeeper, but we still need an actual competitive backup keeper to challenge Kepa. So we went to FC Porto, 25 million, we brought in Diogo Costa. Not Diego Costa, Diogo Costa, let's try and not get them confused. He's got a 4-star potential ability, which is more than we want for a backup. He looks like a great signing for us. He will be playing us in the cups and stuff like that. 50 grand a week, 2-star. We had to overpay a bit for him, but hopefully in a few years he will repay that faith. Plus, he can actually give Kepa some real competition, and hopefully that will improve both of them as they try and outplay each other. Then for £10 million, we still have, by the way, £93 million left over to spend, but because I didn't want to make lots of pointless transfers that we didn't really need, I haven't done them. Now, there might still be transfers after this, as the end of the transfer window hasn't came, but when it comes to that, if I have signed anyone else, I'll let you know in more videos, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be much more business coming on. But we did buy this guy. He's the first new gen that we've bought, David Bastian from Borussia Dortmund for £10 million. He's a 16-year-old German goalkeeper, a potential to be a very, very good goalkeeper. Right now, he's just he's basically a youth player. But I'm hoping in a few years' time, he's currently playing for our under-18s. Maybe in a few years' time, he can come in as Kepa leaves and Diogo Costa overtakes Kepa. David Bastian will then come up, challenge Diogo Costa. They'll switch around. It's just going to provide good competition. And for the money we had, he was available. Bayern Munich wanted him, but we beat him to it. He's going to be a cracking player in the future, and he's already got some great stats. Look, 17 determination, which is brilliant in terms of his development, and 20 for rushing out. So that's his tendency though. It doesn't mean he's good at it, but it looks like he's going to be a very Manuel Neuer type sweeper keeper. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to using him maybe in a few years' time. Like I say though, if by the end of this season it's been just as easy as the last season and we've cruised to the title and everything, maybe I'll change it up and we'll manage someone different so it's less boring. But yeah, David Bastian has been signed right now for this season. Our goals will be to repeat as much of the success as we could do from last year. Now, I'm not expecting to win all three competitions again. It's going to be tough. It would be great if we could beat Man United in this next Super Cup match. They have Chris Smalling out. David Neres is suspended. I'll show you the team that we now play. This is our first 11. We've got Abraham up front, who coming off a 6-goal. His name is apparently Kevin. I'm not even going to pronounce that. It's Tammy Abraham. His name is Tammy Abraham. But yeah, he's been brilliant in that first match. 6 goals. Hopefully, he can keep that form up. Not that well, obviously, because he's not going to get 6 goals a game, but hopefully he can keep up some of it. Hudson-Odoi as well. He's now coming in as a left winger. I know he hasn't got a great current ability, but his potential is brilliant. And if he starts going off the pace, we've got David Neres and Christian Pulisic to take over. So we've got some great wingers. Jadon Sancho on the right, Mason Mount through the middle with Ross Barkley and Ruben Loftus-Cheek maybe as the other cams. Then we have Jorginho and Kovacic as our choice centre midfield pairing. Kante, Loftus-Cheek as backups to them. Left back we have Emerson. He was brilliant first season. He's got Marcus Alonso as his backup and Ian Matson. I'm hoping to sell Alonso on and then use Ian Matson as the backup because Alonso's on a lot of wages and I don't play him enough. So yeah, he might be going. Reece James at right back. Aspilicueta is his backup. Upamecano and Tomori, like I say, are our choice centre backs for the season, with the new signing Omaragic as his backup, as well as Christensen as the other centre back backup, and then Kepa in goal with Diogo Costa as the backup keeper, and the first choice keeper is Jamal Blackman, purely because he's homegrown and English. He helps us fill out some good registration rules. So that's going to be the team going into next season. Just one more thing before we finish. I did get a comment on one of my yesterday, I think it was, on one of my really old episodes. Just to clear that up, this is the fullback role. This is the wing back. So if he was playing in the position of a wing back, then he can be a wing back, a complete wing back, or inverted wing back. Now, because he's playing fullback, that does not mean that he cannot be a wing back, as you can see of the options of complete wing back and wing back. All it means is it's basically the same as a fullback, except they have more instructions to run further with the ball and stay wider. So it's purely just a tactic to spread the play because we have an inverted winger in Hudson-Odoi who's going to come in on the inside, so Emerson can overlap him. And Reece James is just very good at crossing, so hopefully as the games go on, he starts pushing forward, plays in some nice crosses as he did in the first season. So that's why we're using wing backs. To the guy who commented and basically criticised me for playing wing backs, that's how it worked. In terms of Football Manager, it is a role, not a position. This would be the position of a wing back. This is the role of a wing back while playing the position of fullback. So, with that explained, like I say, the next video will be the UEFA Super Cup against Manchester United. It's good to be back recording. It might not be daily uploads just yet, but in a few days it will get back to that once I've got a backlog of a few videos. So, yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. That's been our summer transfer business. I'll see you hopefully in the next video against Manchester United. Feel free to like, comment if you've got any more criticisms or questions or anything like that. Just comment if you want to get involved, really. And subscribe for more, like I say, daily content as often as possible. Hopefully soon it will be like that again. Thank you for anyone who's been watching. Thanks for the support, and hopefully this season we can smash it like we did the last one. So I'll see you in the next episode.